My name is Hazel, and I'm about to tell you how the worst day of my life became my liberation. 3 hours after learning my 12-week pregnancy had ended in a miscarriage, I stood in my own home, serving appetizers to 40 guests celebrating my husband Ryan's birthday. The sterile hospital smell still clung to my clothes, my body still processing the physical loss, when he pulled me aside in our kitchen and spoke 7 words that would shatter our 5-year marriage. Thanks for ruining my birthday. What happened over the next 24 hours would expose affairs, destroy careers, and teach me that sometimes we need to lose everything to discover our own worth. But before we move back to it, comment down your age and where you're watching from, and if this story resonates with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories about deception, betrayal, and finding the strength to reclaim your life. The doctor's words echo in my mind like a broken record, each repetition somehow more devastating than the last. I'm sorry, there's no heartbeat. The sterile smell of antiseptic fills my nostrils, making my stomach turn. My body goes cold, starting from my chest and radiating outward until even my fingertips feel numb. Dr. Morrison's lips are still moving, explaining something about options and procedures, but all I can hear is the rushing of blood in my ears, like being underwater. The examination room suddenly feels too small, the walls pressing in on me, and I realize I've been holding my breath. Mrs. Wheeler? Dr. Morrison's voice cuts through the fog. Hazel, do you understand what I'm telling you? I nod mechanically, though understanding feels impossible. Just this morning, I'd felt that flutter, that beautiful, unmistakable movement that made everything real. I'd pressed my hand against my stomach in the shower, whispering promises to the little life inside me. We're going to meet Daddy's friends tonight, I'd said, imagining introducing our news at Ryan's birthday party. They're going to be so happy. Now that flutter is just a phantom sensation, a cruel trick of my desperate mind. Would you like a few minutes alone? Dr. Morrison asks, her professional composure softened by genuine sympathy. She's seen this before, women like me, sitting in this same chair, receiving this same news. But for me, this is the first time. The only time. My baby, my first baby, is gone. Yes, I managed to whisper, my voice sounding foreign to my own ears. She squeezes my shoulder gently before leaving, the door clicking shut with a finality that makes me flinch. The silence that follows is deafening. On the ultrasound screen, now dark, there had been nothing but stillness where there should have been a heartbeat. Where there had been a heartbeat just 3 weeks ago. I stumble to the small restroom attached to the examination room, my legs barely supporting me. The fluorescent light flickers on automatically, harsh and unforgiving. I grip the cold porcelain sink with both hands, my knuckles turning white from the pressure. In the mirror, a stranger stares back at me, pale, hollow-eyed, lips trembling. This isn't the glowing pregnant woman I'd been just hours ago. This is someone else, someone broken. My reflection blurs as tears finally come, hot and relentless. I press a hand over my mouth to muffle the sound, even though there's no one to hear. The sobs come from somewhere deep inside, from the place where I'd already been making room for this child. I'd already imagined first steps, first words, first days of school. I'd picked out names. Emma for a girl, after my grandmother. James for a boy, after Ryan's father. Now those names would never be spoken aloud, never be called across playgrounds or whispered as lullabies. A soft knock interrupts my breakdown. Mrs. Wheeler? It's a nurse, different from the one who'd prepared me for the ultrasound. Her voice is gentle, careful.
I'm Sarah.
Dr. Morrison asked me to check on you. Do you need anything? Would you like me to call your husband?
Ryan.
The thought of him sends a fresh wave of anguish through me. How do I tell him? How do I destroy his birthday with this news? But then, shouldn't he want to know immediately? Shouldn't he drop everything to be here with me? No, I hear myself say, opening the door slightly. Sarah's face is kind, lined with the wisdom of someone who's witnessed too much sorrow.
No,
I need a moment to process this myself first. She nods, understanding. Take all the time you need. I'll be at the nurse's station if you need anything. There's no rush. She pauses, then adds softly, I'm so sorry for your loss. The phrase feels both too small and too enormous.
Loss.
Such a simple word for such a complex grief. After she leaves, I return to the examination room and sink back into the chair. My purse sits on the small table beside me, and with trembling fingers, I open it. There, tucked carefully between my wallet and phone, is the ultrasound photo from 3 weeks ago. That beautiful, grainy image of our baby at 9 weeks, a tiny blob that looked more like a peanut than a person, but perfect to me. The technician had pointed out the head, the beginning of arms. Strong heartbeat, she'd said cheerfully. Everything looks great. I trace the image with my finger, then carefully tuck it back into my bag. This photo is all I have now, the only proof that for 12 weeks, I carried life inside me. The weight of it feels enormous, as if this small piece of paper could anchor me to the earth when everything else is floating away. My phone buzzes, startling me. A text from Ryan illuminates the screen. Don't forget to pick up the cake from Morrison's Bakery. Triple chocolate, 3 layers.
They close at 5.
Everyone's coming at 7. No, how are you feeling? No, how did the appointment go? Just instructions, as if I'm his personal assistant rather than his wife carrying. I swallow hard. Rather than his wife, who is carrying his child. I stare at the message, reading it 3 times before its callousness fully registers. He knew I had my 12-week scan today. We talked about it last week, though he'd been distracted, scrolling through his phone while I explained that this was the important one, the one where we'd graduate from the danger zone. He'd made a non-committal sound, something between acknowledgement and dismissal. Another text appears. Also, make sure you look nice tonight. The Hendersons are coming, and you know how judgmental Patricia can be. Look nice. As if my appearance is what matters right now. As if I'm a decoration for his party rather than a person experiencing the worst day of her life. I scroll up through our recent messages, searching for something, anything that shows concern for me or our baby. But it's all logistics. Pick up dry cleaning, remember to pay the landscaper, don't forget his mother's birthday card. When did we become this? When did I become invisible except for what I could do for him? A memory surfaces from early in my pregnancy, around week 6 when the morning sickness had been at its worst. I'd been hunched over the toilet, retching, when Ryan had appeared in the doorway. Can you keep it down? He'd said, irritation clear in his voice. I have an early meeting, and I need to sleep. Not a hand on my back, not a glass of water offered, just annoyance that my suffering inconvenienced him. I dismissed it then, telling myself he was stressed about the promotion he was chasing. I'd made excuses, as I always did. But sitting here now, in this sterile room with my womb empty and my heart shattered, I can't make excuses anymore. The clock on the wall reads 3:47 p.m. I should leave if I'm going to pick up his precious cake. The thought of it, celebrating while my body is still processing this loss, makes me nauseous. But what's the alternative? Call him and tell him over the phone? Ruin his party before it starts?
No.
I'll go home. I'll tell him in person, and he'll understand. He has to understand. This is our child we've lost. Surely that matters more than a birthday party. I gather my things slowly, each movement deliberate and careful, as if I might shatter if I move too quickly. Sarah appears as I exit the examination room. Do you have someone to drive you home? She asks, concern evident in her eyes. I'll take a taxi, I reply. The thought of navigating traffic right now feels impossible. She walks me to the hospital entrance, her presence steady and comforting. Hazel, she says as the taxi pulls up, please don't hesitate to call if you need anything. The hospital has support groups, counselors. You don't have to go through this alone. Alone. The word follows me into the taxi, settling heavy on my chest. Where to? The driver asks, glancing at me in the rearview mirror. I give him our address in Westfield, then lean my head against the cool window. Outside, the world continues as if nothing has changed. People walk dogs, carry shopping bags, laugh into their phones. A mother pushes a stroller, and I have to look away, the sight too painful to bear. How can everything look so normal when my world has just imploded? The driver, thankfully, doesn't try to make conversation. Maybe he recognizes the look of someone barely holding it together. The route home takes us through downtown, past Morrison's bakery where Ryan's cake waits, past the baby boutique where I'd been secretly browsing cribs online, past the park where I'd imagined pushing our child on the swings. Each landmark feels like a small death, a future that will never be. My phone buzzes again. Ryan. ETA on the cake? People are starting to arrive early to help set up. People are arriving. The party is happening whether I'm ready or not. Time hasn't stopped for my grief. Another text, this time from my sister-in-law, Jennifer. Can't wait to see you tonight. Ryan says you have news? My stomach drops. He'd hinted to people that we had news. Of course he had. He'd probably been planning to announce the pregnancy at his party, making it about him, basking in the congratulations. The thought makes me angry, a welcome change from the numbness. As we turn onto our street, I can see our house already transformed. Balloons tied to the mailbox bob in the breeze, silver and blue, Ryan's favorite colors. Cars line the driveway and street. Through the large front window, I can see people moving around inside, setting up decorations. The contrast between the festive atmosphere and my internal devastation is jarring. This is good, I tell the driver, having him stop a few houses away. I need a moment to compose myself before walking into that chaos. I pay and exit slowly, standing on the sidewalk as the taxi drives away. Our house, a beautiful two-story colonial that Ryan had insisted we buy even though it stretched our budget, looks like it's ready for a celebration. Someone has hung streamers from the porch, and I can hear music drifting from the backyard. With each step toward the house, my legs feel heavier. I don't have his cake. I forgot to look nice. I'm about to walk into his birthday party and destroy it with my news. But what choice do I have? I can't pretend everything is fine. I can't smile and serve drinks while my body is still processing this loss. The front door is slightly ajar, and I can hear Ryan's laugh from inside, that booming, performative laugh he uses when he's trying to impress people. I push the door open and step inside. The entryway is crowded with gift bags and bottles of wine. Through the archway to the living room, I can see at least 20 people already here, 2 hours before the party's supposed to start. Ryan stands in the center, holding court, gesturing animatedly as he tells some story from work. Then he sees me. His face lights up for a split second, the practiced smile of a man greeting his wife in front of company. But then he registers my appearance, my rumpled clothes, my empty hands, my face that I know must look destroyed despite my attempts to compose myself in the taxi. The smile freezes, then shifts. His jaw tightens. His eyes narrow slightly, a look I know too well, the one that says I've disappointed him. He excuses himself from his audience and strides toward me, each step deliberate and controlled. To anyone watching, it might look like a concerned husband approaching his wife. But I see the real emotion in his eyes, annoyance. Where's the cake? Ryan hisses under his breath as he reaches me, his hand gripping my elbow, not hard enough to hurt, but firm enough to communicate his displeasure. His cologne, usually comforting, now makes my stomach turn. And why'd he look like he stops himself, glancing back at our guests, then forces a smile. Let's talk in the kitchen. He guides me through the living room, past familiar faces that blur together. I catch glimpses of concern. Ryan's co-worker Mark furrows his brow. Jennifer starts to approach, but Ryan waves her off with a, just need to help Hazel with something in the kitchen. His voice is bright, performative, nothing like the tension radiating from his grip on my arm. The kitchen is mercifully empty, though I can hear people on the deck just outside the sliding doors. Balloon bouquets crowd the corners, and someone has set up an elaborate drink station on the island. The cake stand sits empty in the center of the dining table, waiting. Ryan releases my arm and spins to face me, his mask dropping instantly. What the hell, Hazel? The party starts in 2 hours and you show up looking like... He gestures at me with disgust. This? Where's the cake? Did you at least pick up the wine? The words tumble out before I can stop them, barely above a whisper. I lost the baby. For a moment, silence stretches between us. I watch his face, waiting for the transformation, for confusion to shift to understanding, for anger to melt into grief, for his arms to open and pull me close. I wait for him to become the man I married, the one who once held my hair back when I had food poisoning, who cried at our wedding when I walked down the aisle. Instead, his face contorts with something I can only describe as rage. So, you show up to my birthday like this? The words come out sharp, accusatory, as if I've deliberately orchestrated this timing to hurt him. I stare at him, unable to process what I'm hearing. Ryan, did you hear what I said? Our baby. I heard you, he snaps, running a hand through his carefully styled hair.
Jesus Christ, Hazel.
Everyone's here. Everyone. The Hendersons drove 2 hours. My boss is coming. And you walk in here with this. He stops, glancing toward the sliding door where shadows move past. When he looks back at me, his expression has shifted to something colder, more calculated. We'll deal with this tomorrow. Right now, I need you to pull yourself together. Pull myself together? The words come out strangled. Ryan, I just came from the hospital. Our baby is dead. Do you understand that?
Dead.
He flinches at the word but doesn't soften. If anything, his jaw sets harder. Keep your voice down, he warns, stepping closer. Look, I'm sorry, okay? It's unfortunate. But we can't do anything about it right now, can we? And I've got 40 people showing up expecting a party. Unfortunate. Like a missed flight or a rained-out golf game. Not the death of our child. From the living room, someone shouts, surprise, followed by laughter and confusion. More early arrivals, probably expecting Ryan to be shocked and delighted. He closes his eyes, breathing through his nose the way he does when he's trying to control his temper. When he opens them again, he looks at me with an expression I've never seen before, pure, undisguised resentment. Thanks for ruining my birthday, he says, each word deliberate and cutting. Then, without waiting for my response, he adjusts his expression like putting on a mask and strides back toward the living room. Hey, you got me, I hear him say, his voice full of false surprise and warmth. You guys are early. I stand frozen in the kitchen, my mind struggling to reconcile what just happened. This morning I was pregnant. An hour ago, I discovered I wasn't. And now my husband, the man who's supposed to love me above all others, has just thanked me for ruining his birthday with my miscarriage. My hands are shaking. No, my whole body is shaking. I grip the counter for support, afraid I might collapse right here on the designer tile floor Ryan insisted we needed. Hazel. Jennifer's voice makes me jump. She's standing in the doorway, concern written across her face. Honey, are you okay? You look. I force my face into something resembling a smile. It feels like my skin might crack from the effort.
Ai fine, Ili.
Just tired. She doesn't look convinced, but before she can press further, Ryan appears behind her. Jen, can you help me with a playlist? Mark connected his phone, but can't figure out the speakers. His eyes find mine over his sister's shoulder, and the message is clear. Get yourself together.
Now.
Jennifer glances between us, sensing something, but Ryan is already steering her away. Hazel was just about to freshen up, he says, not looking at me. Weren't you, honey? The endearment sounds like a threat. Yes, I manage. I'll be right back. I escape upstairs, each step an effort. Our bedroom, once my sanctuary, feels foreign now. The bed we've shared for 5 years, where this baby was likely conceived, looks cold and uninviting. On my nightstand sits the pregnancy journal I'd started, filled with weekly updates and letters to our unborn child. I shove it into the drawer, unable to bear looking at it. In the bathroom, I stare at my reflection again. My eyes are red and swollen, my face blotchy. There's no amount of makeup that will fix this, but I try anyway. Foundation to cover the redness. Mascara to define eyes that want nothing more than to close. Lipstick in the coral shade Ryan likes, though the thought of pleasing him right now makes me sick. As I'm finishing, I hear more voices downstairs. The party is building momentum with or without me. Through the window, I can see people gathering on the deck. Someone has lit the fire pit despite the warm evening. Ryan's laughter carries up through the floorboards, easy and carefree, as if nothing has happened. As if our child didn't die today. I descend the stairs slowly, gripping the banister. The house is full now, at least 30 people, maybe more. The dining room table, sans cake, is loaded with appetizers I'd prepared yesterday when I still had hope. The cheese board I'd arranged while humming to the baby. The spinach dip I'd made while imagining telling Ryan's parents they were going to be grandparents. There she is. Ryan's voice booms as I enter the living room. He crosses to me in 3 quick strides, sliding an arm around my waist and pulling me against him. To anyone watching, we must look like the perfect couple. Only I can feel the warning pressure of his fingers against my ribs. "Everyone, you know Hazel," he says, that practiced smile never wavering. "The woman who keeps me sane." There's a ripple of polite laughter. Someone raises a glass in our direction. I stand there, a frozen smile on my face, as person after person approaches. Patricia Henderson air kisses my cheek and compliments the house. Mark's wife, whose name I can never remember, gushes about the appetizers. Ryan's boss, David Chun, shakes my hand firmly and jokes about Ryan being lucky to have locked me down. "He certainly is," I reply, the words ash in my mouth. Through it all, Ryan keeps his hand on me, my waist, my shoulder, the small of my back. To everyone else, it must look affectionate. But I know better. He's controlling me, ensuring I don't break rank, don't embarrass him. An hour passes in a blur of small talk and forced smiles. I float through it like a ghost, present but not really there. My body moves on autopilot, refreshing drinks, passing appetizers, laughing at the right moments. But my mind is back in that hospital room, watching the ultrasound screen, waiting for a heartbeat that never comes. "Hazel, you look pale," says Patricia, studying me with those sharp eyes that miss nothing. "Are you feeling all right?" Before I can answer, Ryan jumps in. "She's been fighting something all week," he says smoothly. "I told her to rest today, but you know Hazel always has to play the perfect hostess." Patricia makes sympathetic noises while I marvel at how easily lies fall from his lips. Fighting something all week. As if my morning sickness, my fatigue, my body's effort to grow our child was just an inconvenience to explain away. "Maybe you should sit down," suggests Emma Morrison, one of my few actual friends here. She's looking at me with genuine concern. "You really don't look well." "I'm fine," I insist, but even I can hear how weak it sounds. "Actually," Ryan interjects, his hand tightening on my shoulder, "why don't you help me with something in the kitchen?" His tone brooks no argument. Once we're alone again, his facade drops. "You're being obvious," he hisses. Emma's already asking questions. "I'm trying," I whisper back, tears threatening again. "Ryan, please. I need." "What you need," he cuts me off, "is to stop making this about you. It's my birthday."
My
Birthday. We have one night a year that's supposed to be about me, and you can't even give me that. The accusation is so twisted, so fundamentally wrong, that I can't form words. One night that's about him? When has anything ever been about me? When has he ever celebrated my achievements, my needs, my losses? "The cake," he continues, as if that's what matters right now. "Please tell me you at least arranged for backup?" "There is no cake," I say flatly. "I was at the hospital finding out our baby died. I'm sorry that interfered with your party plans." His face flushes red, and for a moment I think he might actually hit me. He's never raised a hand to me before, but there's something wild in his eyes that I've never seen. Instead, he steps back, laughs bitterly, and shakes his head. "You know what?
fine.
We'll manage without it. But you," he points at me, "are going to go back out there and pretend everything is perfect. You're going to smile and laugh and be the wife everyone expects you to be. And tomorrow, when everyone's gone, we'll talk about your little problem." My little problem? Our dead baby is my little problem. And if I don't, the question surprises us both. He leans in close enough that I can smell the whiskey on his breath. "Then everyone out there is going to know exactly what kind of wife you really are. The kind who can't even carry a baby to term. The kind who shows up to her husband's birthday party looking like a mess, without even the cake she was supposed to bring. The kind who makes everything about her. The cruelty of it takes my breath away. He's weaponizing my miscarriage, turning it into a personal failure, a character flaw. This is who he really is, I realize. This is who he's always been. I just couldn't see it before, or wouldn't let myself see it. Now, he says, stepping back and smoothing his shirt, I'm going to go toast with my friends. You're going to clean yourself up, again, and join us. And Hazel? He pauses at the doorway. Try to look happy. It's supposed to be a celebration. He leaves me standing there, shaking with rage and grief, and something else, something that feels dangerously close to hatred. I hear him in the living room, his voice carrying over the music. Sorry about that, everyone. Hazel's not feeling great, but she insists on powering through. That's my wife. Never knows when to take a break. The crowd makes sympathetic noises, and someone jokes that he'd better take care of me. Oh, I will, he replies, and the double meaning in his words makes my skin crawl. I move to the sink, running cold water over my wrists, trying to calm my racing heart. Through the window, I can see the party continuing on the deck. Ryan is holding court again, gesturing animatedly, making everyone laugh. Patricia Henderson touches his arm flirtatiously, and he doesn't pull away. His coworker, Melissa something, stands too close, laughing too loud at his jokes. This is my life, I think. This is what I'm supposed to return to, smile through, pretend to celebrate. My baby died today, and I'm expected to serve appetizers and play the perfect wife. A hand touches my shoulder, and I jump. It's Emma, her face full of concern. Hazel, she says quietly, I don't know what's going on, but I can see you're struggling. Do you need to leave? I can make an excuse. No, I say quickly, knowing how Ryan would react if I left. No, I need a minute. She squeezes my shoulder. I'm here if you need anything, okay? Anything at all. After she leaves, I take a shaky breath and look at the clock. It's 8:15. The party will go until at least midnight, maybe later. For more hours of this torture. I fix my makeup again, noting how my hands have stopped shaking. Something has shifted inside me, the grief crystallizing into something harder, sharper. I can do this, I tell myself. I can survive tonight. But tomorrow, everything changes. Returning to the party, I move through the crowd like an actor playing a role. I smile at the right times, laugh at Ryan's jokes, refill glasses, and pass plates. Inside, I'm calculating, watching, noticing things I've been blind to before. The way Ryan's hand lingers on Melissa's back when he guides her to the bar. The way he dismisses me when I try to join conversations. The way his friends look at me with pity, not envy. Time for a toast, someone shouts, and glasses are raised. Ryan stands in the center of the room, basking in the attention. Thank you all for coming, he begins, his voice smooth and practiced. 35 years on this earth, and I have to say, life has never been better. Great job, great friends, and... He glances at me, that false smile playing at his lips. A wife who always makes sure everything is perfect. Everyone cheers and drinks. I raise my glass of water. I can't stomach alcohol right now, and pretend to sip. To many more years, David Chin calls out. To many more, Ryan echoes, but he's looking at Melissa when he says it. The party continues around me, but I'm already gone, retreating into myself where the pain can't reach. I think about the ultrasound photo in my purse, the only evidence of the life that briefly existed. I think about the dreams I'd had for our family, now shattered like glass on the hospital floor. I think about the man I married, and the stranger he's revealed himself to be. Hazel. Ryan's voice cuts through my thoughts. We're out of ice. Of course we are. And of course it's my job to fix it. I head to the garage where we keep the extra bags, welcoming the momentary solitude. In the darkness, I allow myself 3 deep breaths, 3 moments of honesty before returning to the performance. When I come back with the ice, Ryan is regaling the crowd with a story about his latest work triumph. And then I said to the client, trust me, I know it sells, and boom, biggest contract of the quarter. Everyone applauds. Patricia practically swoons. Melissa touches his arm in congratulation. And I stand there holding a bag of ice, invisible except when needed, a ghost in my own life. The clock on the wall reads 9:30. 2.5 more hours. 2.5 more hours of this charade, and then, Hazel, honey, Ryan calls out, that false sweetness in his voice that makes me want to scream. Why don't you tell everyone about that charity event you're organizing? I haven't been organizing any charity event. This is another of his fabrications, another way to make us look good. But I smile and make something up about a fundraiser for the children's hospital, and everyone nods approvingly. She's always thinking of others, Ryan says, pulling me against him. Sometimes I have to remind her to think of herself too. The irony is so thick I could choke on it. As the night wears on, I catch fragments of conversation that feel like daggers. Jennifer telling someone that Ryan will make such a good father someday. Mark joking that Ryan has the perfect life, perfect job, perfect house, perfect wife. Patricia whispering to her husband that some women don't know how lucky they are. If only they knew. If only they could see past this carefully constructed facade to the rotting foundation beneath. At 11:45, as midnight approaches, I excuse myself one more time. In the bathroom, I stare at my reflection, makeup smeared despite my efforts, eyes hollow with exhaustion and grief. This is what surviving looks like, I think. This is what it costs to keep Ryan's secrets, to maintain his image, to be the wife he demands. But as the clock ticks closer to midnight, to the end of this horrible birthday, I make a decision. I won't keep his secrets much longer. Tonight, I'll finish this performance. But tomorrow, things change. The clock strikes midnight as I descend the stairs one final time, and I realize with grim satisfaction that his birthday is over. But my reckoning has just begun. The clock has barely finished chiming midnight when I return to the party, and the first thing I see makes my blood run cold. Ryan is in the corner by the fireplace, his arm around Melissa's waist, her head tilted back in laughter at something he's whispered in her ear. It's not the casual touch of colleagues. It's intimate, familiar, practiced. How many times have they stood like this when I wasn't around? I watch them for a moment, invisible in the doorway, as his hand slides lower on her back. She doesn't pull away. Instead, she leans into him, her hand resting on his chest in a way that speaks of comfort, of habit. My husband, who 6 hours ago dismissed our dead child as unfortunate, is comforting himself in the arms of another woman at the party I'm hosting. They make a good couple, don't they? I spin around to find Patricia Henderson watching me, her expression unreadable. There's something in her eyes, not quite sympathy, not quite malice. Knowledge, perhaps. I'm sorry. I manage, though we both know I heard her perfectly. She takes a sip of her wine, considering her words. Oh, I just mean they work well together. At the office, Ryan's mentioned how helpful Melissa has been with the Morrison account. The Morrison account. The one that kept him late at the office 3 nights a week for the past 2 months. The pieces click into place with sickening clarity. Yes, I say, my voice surprisingly steady. Very helpful. Patricia studies me for a moment longer, then pats my arm. You look exhausted, dear. Perhaps you should rest. Let Ryan handle the guests. Let Ryan handle things. Like he's been handling Melissa. I make my way through the crowd, each step deliberate, my eyes never leaving them. Other guests are starting to notice too. The sideways glances, the whispered conversations behind raised glasses. How long has this been obvious to everyone but me? Or have I always known somewhere deep down and just refused to see? Great party, Hazel. Mark Chin appears beside me, slightly drunk, oblivious to the tension. Though someone mentioned there was supposed to be cake, there was a problem with the order. I say automatically, the lie coming easily now. I've become good at lies tonight. Ah well, plenty of booze instead. He laughs, then leans in conspiratorially. Between you and me, Ryan's been in such a good mood lately. That promotion must really agree with him. Or something does anyway. He winks and moves away, leaving me to parse his meaning. The promotion he got 2 months ago, right when the late night started. I force myself to look back at Ryan and Melissa. They've separated slightly, but she's still standing too close, her body angled toward his like a plant seeking sun. He's gesturing animatedly, telling another story, but his eyes keep finding her face, seeking her approval, her laughter. "Don't embarrass me," he'd said. But what about my embarrassment? Standing here in my own home while my husband publicly courts another woman, hours after I lost our child? "Hazel, there you are." Jennifer approaches with two of her friends I vaguely recognize. "We were just talking about that trip you and Ryan took to Miami last month." Sounded amazing. "We didn't go to Miami last month. Ryan went to Miami last month. A business trip," he'd said. I'd stayed home because the morning sickness had been too severe to fly. But I smile and nod, playing along with whatever story he's told them. "The beaches were beautiful," I say, wondering if Melissa liked them. "Very romantic." Jennifer looks confused. "But Ryan said you went for that medical conference?" Medical conference. Business trip. The lies are multiplying, contradicting each other. I can see Jennifer trying to reconcile the stories, her forehead creasing. "Oh, we mix business with pleasure," I say smoothly, though inside I'm screaming. Ryan's good at multitasking. Across the room, Melissa laughs again, touching Ryan's arm. He doesn't even glance my way, doesn't check to see if I'm watching, if I'm okay. I could collapse right here, and he wouldn't notice until someone interrupted his flirtation to tell him. My phone buzzes in my pocket. It's Emma. "Are you sure you're okay? You look ready to collapse." I look up to find her watching me from across the room, genuine worry on her face. At least someone notices. At least someone cares. I'm about to respond when I hear Ryan's voice rise above the crowd. Hazel's always been dramatic about these things. Remember when she thought she had appendicitis and it was just food poisoning? Laughter ripples through the group around him. He's telling stories about me, making me the butt of jokes while I stand here bleeding internally, literally and figuratively. "That's not what happened," I say, louder than I intended. The room doesn't go silent, but there's a noticeable pause in conversations nearby. Ryan turns, his eyes flashing with warning. "What's that, honey?" "That's not what happened," I repeat, walking toward him. Each step feels like walking through quicksand. It wasn't food poisoning. It was an ovarian cyst that burst. I was in the hospital for 2 days. His smile tightens. "You sure?" I distinctly remember. "I'm sure." I cut him off. Just like I'm sure about a lot of things. The tension in the room shifts, becomes palpable. Melissa steps back slightly, her eyes darting between us.
Good.
Let her feel uncomfortable for once. "Maybe we should call it a night," David Chin suggests, clearly sensing the mounting hostility. "It's getting late." "Nonsense." Ryan booms, but his jovial tone sounds forced now. "The night's still young. Hazel's just tired. Aren't you, sweetheart?" The endearment is a warning, a threat wrapped in sugar. But something inside me has snapped. The careful control I've maintained all evening is fracturing. "Actually, yes," I say, meeting his eyes directly. "I'm very tired. Exhausted, really. It's been a long day at the hospital." I see him process my words, the slight widening of his eyes as he realizes what I've just said in front of everyone. Jennifer gasps softly. Emma starts moving toward me. "The hospital?" Jennifer asks, concern flooding her voice. "Hazel, what?" "She had a routine checkup." Ryan interrupts quickly, his hand suddenly on my elbow again, gripping too tight. "Nothing serious. Right, honey?" This is it. The moment where I could expose everything, tell them all about the miscarriage, his cruelty, the way he thanked me for ruining his birthday with my dead baby. The room seems to hold its breath, waiting. But then I see Melissa's face, not smug or satisfied, but genuinely confused.
She doesn't know.
Whatever's been happening between them, she doesn't know about the pregnancy, the loss. She's been sleeping with, or at least emotionally involved with, a man whose wife was pregnant, and she doesn't even know. Right? I say finally, the fight draining out of me as quickly as it came. Nothing serious. But Emma isn't buying it. She's at my side now, her arm around my shoulders. "Come on," she says quietly. "Let's get you some air." Ryan tries to object, but David Chun is already ushering people toward the door, reading the room better than my husband ever could. Early meeting tomorrow, he says diplomatically. We should all head out. The exodus begins, guests murmuring polite goodbyes, gathering coats and bags. Some shoot curious glances our way, others purposefully avoid eye contact. Patricia Henderson stops beside me on her way out. If you ever need anything, she says quietly, pressing a business card into my hand. Anything at all. I look down at the card. She's a divorce attorney. Ryan sees it too, his face flushing dark red. After Patricia leaves, he snatches the card from my hand, tearing it in half. We don't need that, he says through gritted teeth. We don't. I ask, surprised by my own boldness. Because from where I'm standing. You're being hysterical, he says, but his voice lacks its usual conviction. People are still within earshot, still watching. Melissa hovers by the door, clearly unsure whether to stay or go. I should head out too, she says finally, not quite meeting my eyes. Happy birthday, Ryan. Hazel, lovely party. Lovely party. Where my husband groped her while I served drinks, hours after my miscarriage. Melissa, I call out as she reaches the door. She turns, wary. Those late nights at the office must be exhausting. All that overtime on the Morrison account. Her face pales slightly. Yes. It's been a busy quarter. Funny. I continue, my voice conversationally light. Ryan said that account wrapped up a month ago. The lie comes so easily, but the effect is immediate. Melissa's eyes widen, darting to Ryan. His jaw clenches. I must have been confused, she says quickly, then flees. Jennifer is one of the last to leave, hugging me tightly at the door. Hazel, she whispers, I don't know what's going on, but I'm worried about you. You don't look well, and Ryan. She pauses, glancing back at her brother, who's angrily collecting empty glasses. Just call me, okay? Tomorrow? I nod, not trusting myself to speak. Emma squeezes my hand before leaving, slipping her own business card into my pocket. I mean it, she says. Anything you need. And then they're all gone, and it's just Ryan and me in our destroyed living room. Plates with half-eaten food, lipstick-stained glasses, the lingering smell of too many perfumes and colognes. The detritus of a party that should never have happened. You tried to humiliate me, Ryan says, his voice low and dangerous. In front of my colleagues, my boss, my family. I tried. I laugh, but it sounds hollow. Ryan, you were practically fucking Melissa against a fireplace. Don't be crude, he snaps. And don't be ridiculous. Melissa and I work together. If you can't handle me having female colleagues. Stop, I say, exhaustion crashing over me like a wave. Just stop. I know you're sleeping with her. Everyone at that party knew. Patricia Henderson gave me her divorce attorney card, for God's sake. He's quiet for a moment, and when he speaks, his voice is different. Calculating. You can't prove anything. There it is. Not a denial, but a challenge. You can't prove it. Miami, I say simply. The medical conference that Jennifer thought was a beach vacation. Which was it, Ryan? His face darkens. You're grieving. Not thinking clearly. Making connections that aren't there. Our baby died today. I say, each word deliberate.
12 weeks. Gone.
And you thanked me for ruining your birthday. You did ruin it, he shoots back. The cake, showing up looking like death, making snide comments all night. I had a miscarriage. The scream tears from my throat, raw and primal. Our child is dead. And you care more about your fucking party than. His hand slams on the counter, making me jump. It wasn't a child. It was barely a fetus. For Christ's sake, Hazel, women have miscarriages every day. But they don't use it as an excuse to destroy their husband's reputation. The words hang between us, irretrievable and unforgivable. Get out, I say quietly. Excuse me? Get out of this house. Sleep at your office. Sleep with Melissa. I don't care. Just get out. He laughs, ugly and harsh. This is my house. I pay the mortgage. With our joint income, I remind him. From our joint account. Would you like to explain to a judge why you spent $3,000 at Tiffany's last month? Because I haven't seen any jewelry. The Tiffany's charge I'd noticed but ignored, telling myself it must be a surprise for me. But my birthday was 2 months ago, and Christmas is months away. His face cycles through emotions, rage, fear, calculation. You wouldn't dare. Try me. We stare at each other across the wreckage of his party, two strangers who once promised to love each other forever. When did we become this? Was it gradual, or was he always this man, just better at hiding it? My phone buzzes. It's a text from an unknown number. This is Patricia Henderson.
I meant what I said.
My colleague specializes in complex divorces. First consultation is free. Ryan sees me reading it, and something shifts in his expression. For the first time tonight, he looks afraid. Who's texting you at this hour? Ryan demands, reaching for my phone. I pull it away, something I've never done before. Someone who actually cares about my well-being. Don't be dramatic. But his voice lacks its usual authority. He's unsettled by my defiance, this new version of me that doesn't immediately comply. Look, it's been a long night. We're both tired, emotional. Let's just... There is no let's, I interrupt. You made that clear when you chose your birthday party over our child's death. Jesus Christ, will you stop calling it that? He runs his hands through his hair, messing up the perfect style he'd maintained all evening. It wasn't a child.
It was a pregnancy.
A failed pregnancy. These things happen. These things happen, I repeat, tasting the callousness of the words. Is that what you'll tell Melissa when she miscarries? Or will you actually care because it's happening to someone you love? The silence that follows is answer enough. How long? I ask, though I'm not sure I want to know. He shrugs, attempting nonchalance but failing. I don't know what you're talking about. The Tiffany's charge was for her, wasn't it? He doesn't answer, but his jaw tightens, a tell I've learned to read over 5 years of marriage. The Miami trip. The late nights. The new cologne. The pieces fall into place one by one, a puzzle I didn't want to solve. How long, Ryan? It's not what you think, he says finally, and I almost laugh at the cliché of it all. Then tell me what it is. He begins pacing, his nervous energy filling the room. You changed after you got pregnant. Everything became about the baby. You were sick all the time, complaining constantly. I had hyperemesis gravidarum. I was hospitalized twice. And you stopped taking care of yourself, stopped caring about us, about me. I was growing your child. My child. He spins to face me, his expression ugly. How do I even know it was mine? You were so eager to get pregnant, so desperate. For all I know. The slap happens before I realize I've moved. My palm connects with his cheek, with a crack that echoes through the room. We both freeze, shocked. I've never hit anyone in my life. How dare you? I whisper, my hand stinging. How dare you question? You hit me. He touches his cheek, genuinely stunned. You actually hit me. And you've been destroying me for months. Years, maybe. Which is worse. He steps back, and for a moment I see something flicker in his eyes. Guilt? Regret? But it's gone as quickly as it appeared, replaced by cold calculation. No one will believe you, he says. I'm respected in this community. You're the woman who showed up disheveled to my birthday party, made a scene, and now you're hysterical with grief. If you try to leave me, if you try to take anything, I'll make sure everyone knows you're unstable. Like you told them I was dramatic? Like you gaslit me all night. Gaslight. He scoffs. You've been reading too many internet articles. No one gaslit you. You're emotional, and you're not thinking clearly. I walk to the kitchen drawer where I keep my phone charger, pulling out something else instead. My phone from earlier, still recording. I'd started it when I went to get ice, some instinct telling me I might need proof. His eyes widen as he recognizes what I'm holding. You recorded me? I recorded us. I correct. Your dismissal of our child. Your affair with Melissa. Your threats. That's illegal. You can't record without consent. Indiana is a one-party consent state, I say, grateful for the research I'd done months ago when I first suspected the affair. I can record any conversation I'm part of.
His face has gone pale.
Hazel, listen. No, you listen. I'm surprised by the steadiness in my voice. The tears have stopped, replaced by something harder, more determined. Tomorrow morning, you're going to leave. You'll pack a bag, and you'll go stay somewhere else. Hotel, Melissa's place, I don't care. But you won't be here. You can't kick me out of my own house. Our house, I correct. And yes, I can. Unless you'd prefer I send this recording to Davidson? I'm sure he'd be very interested in hearing how you conduct yourself, especially the part about Melissa. Doesn't your company have a policy about relationships between superiors and subordinates? He's trapped, and we both know it. Melissa reports to him, has for the past year. The relationship is a violation of company policy, grounds for immediate termination. You wouldn't. You'd be ruining both our lives. You already ruined mine, I say simply. The question is whether I ruin yours too, or whether you leave quietly and we handle this like adults. The clock on the wall ticks loudly in the silence.
12:47 nachts.
His birthday has been over for 47 minutes, but this, whatever this is just beginning. I need time to find a place, he says, finally defeated. You have until noon tomorrow. That's not reasonable. Neither is thanking your wife for ruining your birthday with her miscarriage, but here we are. He flinches at the reminder.
Good.
I want him to flinch. I want him to remember this moment, this night, this spectacular implosion of the life he thought he controlled. What about work? People will talk if I'm staying in a hotel. People are already talking. I remind him. Patricia Henderson knows. Jennifer suspects. Emma definitely knows something's wrong. The question is what story they hear, that we're separating amicably, or that you were fired for sexual misconduct and emotional abuse. Emotional abuse. He laughs bitterly. Because I didn't react the way you wanted to your miscarriage? Because you systematically isolated me, gaslit me, and betrayed me while I was carrying your child. Because you made me feel like I was crazy for suspecting what everyone else could see. Because even now, hours after the worst day of my life, you're trying to make me the villain. He starts to respond, then stops. Perhaps he's finally realizing that every word he says is being recorded, or perhaps he's just too tired to keep fighting. I'll need my suits for work, he says instead, practical to the end.
Take them.
Take whatever you need for the immediate future. We'll figure out the rest later. With lawyers, I suppose. Yes, I say simply. With lawyers. He looks around the room, at the remnants of his party, at the life we built together, at me. For a moment, his mask slips completely, and I see something I don't expect. Fear. Not of me, not of divorce, but of something deeper. The fear of a man realizing he's destroyed everything good in his life for something fleeting and shallow. I did love you, he says quietly. In the beginning. I know, I reply, and it's true. I remember that man, the one who brought me soup when I was sick, who cried when I said yes to his proposal, who talked about the children we'd have and the life we'd build. But you loved yourself more. He doesn't deny it. The silence stretches between us until he finally speaks again. I'll sleep in the guest room tonight. I'll leave in the morning. Fine. He starts toward the stairs, then pauses. The baby, was it a boy or girl? The question catches me off guard, and for a moment, my composure cracks. I don't know. It was too early to tell. He nods, continues up the stairs. I hear the guest room door close, and I'm alone. I sink onto the couch, suddenly exhausted beyond measure. The adrenaline that's kept me upright for hours is fading, leaving behind a bone-deep weariness. My body aches from the miscarriage, from the tension, from holding myself together when all I wanted was to fall apart. My phone buzzes again. Emma, just checking one more time. Please let me know you're okay. I text back. I will be. And for the first time tonight, I think it might be true. Not now, not tomorrow, maybe not for months. But someday I will be okay. I pull the ultrasound photo from my purse, looking at it in the lamplight. This tiny being who existed for 12 weeks, who I'll never meet but will always love. I'm sorry, I whisper to the image. I'm sorry your father is who he is. I'm sorry you'll never get to exist in this world. But I promise you, your short life mattered. It changed me. It showed me who he really is and who I need to be. The clock strikes 1 a.m., and I realize I'm still in the clothes I wore to the hospital this morning. Yesterday morning now. It feels like a lifetime ago. I was a different person then, still believing my marriage could be saved, still hoping Ryan would be the partner I needed. I stand, gathering some of the party debris automatically, then stop. This isn't my mess to clean. Not anymore. Instead, I go upstairs carefully, quietly, past the guest room where I can hear Ryan moving around, probably on his phone with Melissa, and into our bedroom. My bedroom now. I lock the door, something I've never done before, and run a hot bath. As I sink into the water, I let myself finally, fully cry. Not the desperate, ugly sobs from the hospital bathroom, but something deeper, more cathartic. I cry for my baby, for my marriage, for the woman I was this morning who believed things would get better. But I also cry with relief. The truth is out. The facade is shattered. I don't have to pretend anymore, don't have to make excuses, don't have to wonder if I'm crazy for suspecting what I now know is true. My phone, placed on the bathroom counter, lights up with messages. Jennifer checking in. Emma offering her guest room if I need it. Even a text from Mark Chen's wife, saying she's sorry for whatever I'm going through and that she never liked how Ryan talked about me when I wasn't around. When I wasn't around, how many times did he diminish me to his colleagues? How many jokes at my expense? How many complaints about the nagging wife at home? But there are also messages of support, more than I expected. Women I barely knew offering help, sharing their own stories of recognition and escape. Patricia Henderson has sent 3 attorney recommendations and a link to a support group for women leaving emotional abuse situations. Emotional abuse. The words still feel foreign, too dramatic for what I've experienced. But as I lie in the cooling bathwater, I catalog the signs I ignored, the way he'd twist my words, making me question my own memory. The subtle criticisms disguised as jokes. The isolation from friends he didn't approve of. The constant moving of goalposts. Nothing I did was ever quite good enough. And today, the ultimate cruelty, turning my miscarriage into an inconvenience, a betrayal of his special day. The water has gone cold by the time I finally get out, wrapping myself in the softest robe I own. It's 2 a.m. now, the house silent except for the occasional creak of settling wood. I should sleep. My body desperately needs rest, but I'm wide awake, wired on grief and adrenaline and something that might be hope. I sit at my vanity, looking at myself in the mirror. My eyes are swollen, my face pale and drawn. But there's something different too. A straightness to my spine, a set to my jaw. I look like someone who's been through hell and survived. Tomorrow, today, technically everything changes. Ryan will leave. I'll call Patricia's colleague. I'll start the process of untangling 5 years of intertwined lives. It will be messy and painful and exhausting. But tonight, in the ruins of what was supposed to be a celebration, I've found something I didn't know I'd lost. Myself. The woman who existed before Ryan's criticism wore her down. The woman who had dreams beyond being the perfect wife. The woman who deserves better than crumbs of affection and constant gaslighting. I open my laptop and create a new document, titling it Evidence. Then I begin typing, documenting everything I can remember, dates, incidents, conversations. The receipt from Tiffany's. The nights he was supposedly at the office. The cruel comments disguised as jokes. The ways he's torn me down, brick by brick, until I barely recognize myself. It's 3 a.m. when I finally close the laptop, my eyes burning with exhaustion. But the document is 15 pages long, a testament to what I've endured and what I'll no longer accept. As I crawl into bed, the bed where our child was conceived, where Ryan will never sleep again, I touch my still swollen belly one last time. Thank you, I whisper to the baby who will never be. Thank you for showing me the truth. Thank you for giving me the strength to leave. The clock on the nightstand reads 3:33 a.m. when I finally close my eyes. In folklore, they say 3:33 is a magical time, when the veil between worlds is thinnest, when transformation is possible. I don't believe in magic, but I believe in this. When I wake up, everything will be different. Ryan will leave. The divorce will begin. I'll grieve my child properly, without having to hide my pain for someone else's comfort. And slowly, carefully, I'll rebuild. Not the life I had, but something better. Something true.
Something mine.
The last thought I have before sleep claims me is this. Ryan was wrong. I didn't ruin his birthday. His birthday ruined us. And maybe that's exactly what needed to happen. I wake to the sound of drawers slamming. The morning light filtering through the curtains tells me it's past 9 a.m. I've slept less than 6 hours, but my body feels like it's been hit by a truck. The physical effects of the miscarriage, combined with emotional exhaustion, make even sitting up feel monumental. Ryan is making no effort to be quiet as he packs. Each slam of a drawer, each heavy footstep, is a petty act of aggression, his way of ensuring I can't rest, can't find peace even in sleep. My phone is already buzzing with messages. I reach for it, wincing at the cramping in my abdomen that reminds me why this all started. Jennifer, Ryan just texted asking if he can stay with us. What the hell happened? Emma, checking in. Do you need me to come over? Unknown number. Mrs. Wheeler, this is Samantha Roberts from Roberts and Associates. Patricia Henderson gave me your contact. I have availability this afternoon if you'd like to discuss your situation. The speed at which news travels in our social circle would be impressive if it wasn't my life imploding. I can already imagine the whispers at the country club, the speculation at Ryan's office, the way our friends will divide themselves into camps, his and mine. The bedroom door rattles. Hazel, I need my watch. The Rolex. His father's Rolex, technically. Given to him when he graduated from business school. I'd always hated that watch. Ostentatious and heavy, a symbol of the old boys club Ryan so desperately wanted to join. It's in the safe. I call back, not moving from bed. I need the combination. You know the combination. You changed it. Accusation in his voice, as if securing my jewelry after discovering his affair was somehow unreasonable. I had changed it, last month, when I'd found the Tiffany's receipt. Some instinct for self-preservation kicking in before my conscious mind accepted what was happening. My birthday, I say. The year we met. Silence. Then, that's pathetic. Maybe it is. Using our romantic history as a code while he's leaving for another woman. But I hear him walk away, toward our home office where the safe is, and I know he's trying the combination. He'll take the watch, probably some cash. Maybe the cufflinks I bought him last Christmas. Let him. They're just things. I force myself out of bed and into the bathroom. The woman in the mirror looks worse than yesterday, hollow-eyed, pale, with the particular exhaustion that comes from grief. But there's still that new straightness to my spine, that set to my jaw. By the time I've showered and dressed, carefully, in one of my better outfits, because I refuse to look like the destroyed woman he's painting me as, Ryan is dragging suitcases down the stairs. I stand in the bedroom doorway, watching him struggle with a particularly heavy bag, not offering to help. The coffee maker doesn't work, he announces, as if I'm still responsible for his morning routine. It works fine. You just have to clean it occasionally. He shoots me a dark look. I suppose you find this funny. No. I say honestly. None of this is funny. Our child died yesterday, and you're worried about coffee. Don't start, he warns, setting down the suitcase with unnecessary force. I'm leaving, just like you wanted. Like you chose, I correct. You chose Melissa. You chose your image over our marriage. You chose your birthday party over our baby. These are all your choices, Ryan. He starts to respond, then stops. Through the window, I can see a familiar silver sedan pulling up. Melissa's car. She's actually come to pick him up from our home, the home where we were supposed to raise our children. The audacity of it takes my breath away. She shouldn't be here, I say, my voice dangerously quiet. You kicked me out. How I leave is my business. No, it's our neighbor's business now. Mrs. Patterson is probably already at her window with her phone. Sure enough, I can see curtains twitching across the street. By noon, everyone will know that Ryan Wheeler left his wife for his subordinate, picked up from his marital home like a teenager sneaking out. Let them look, Ryan says, but I can see the calculation in his eyes. He's realizing how this looks, how it will play out in the court of public opinion. Melissa doesn't get out of the car, at least showing that much sense. But I can see her profile through the windshield, checking her makeup in the mirror, and rage floods through me so suddenly, it's almost overwhelming. I walk past Ryan, down the stairs, and out the front door before I can stop myself. Melissa's eyes widen as she sees me approaching. She fumbles with her car locks, but I'm not coming for her. Not physically, anyway. I stop at her window, which she reluctantly lowers an inch. I had a miscarriage yesterday, I tell her, my voice carrying clearly across the quiet morning street. 12 weeks pregnant. I lost the baby, came home, and found my husband more concerned about his birthday cake than our dead child. And now you're here, picking him up like this is some romantic movie. So, I want you to know exactly what kind of man you're getting. Her face has gone white. I didn't know you were pregnant. Of course you didn't. He didn't tell you. Just like he probably didn't tell you, he was the one who pursued you, who initiated whatever this is. Just like he won't tell you when he gets bored with you too and finds someone newer, younger, more exciting. Hazel. Ryan's voice behind me, sharp with panic. That's enough. Is it? I turn to face him, aware that we now have an audience. Mrs. Patterson isn't even pretending not to watch. Two joggers have slowed their pace, pretending to stretch while observing the drama. Is it enough, Ryan? Or should I tell her about the others? There weren't others, as far as I know. But the way his face pales, the way Melissa's mouth drops open, maybe there were. Maybe I was even more blind than I thought. Get in the car, Ryan hisses at me. No, not at me. At Melissa. Just drive. But Melissa is staring at me, something shifting in her expression. Others? There were no others, Ryan says quickly, too quickly. She's lying. She's upset about the situation. The situation? I repeat. That's what we're calling it? Not the affair you've been having for months? Not the pregnancy you've been ignoring? Not the marriage you've destroyed? You've destroyed it. He explodes, forgetting our audience. You changed. You became this boring suburban housewife who only cared about babies and Pinterest and book clubs. I became your wife, I shoot back. I became what you said you wanted. Supportive, accommodating, always putting your career first. And the moment I had needs of my own, the moment I was pregnant with your child, you went running to someone who demanded nothing from you. Melissa gets out of the car. Ryan, is this true? Were there others? He looks between us, trapped. Mel? Baby, let's talk about this later. Don't call me baby, she says, and there's steel in her voice I didn't expect. Were there others? The silence stretches until Mrs. Patterson actually gasps from her porch. This is better than any soap opera for the neighborhood gossips. There is someone in Miami, Ryan finally admits, and I feel my knees nearly buckle. So I was right about the trip, just wrong about who. But it didn't mean anything. It was just what? Melissa demands. Just sex? Just fun? Just what, exactly? I almost feel sorry for her. Almost. She's learning what I learned yesterday, that Ryan Wheeler is incapable of real loyalty, real love, real sacrifice. I think you should go, I tell her, surprising myself with the gentleness in my voice. This isn't your fault. You didn't know what you were getting into. But now you do. So go, and don't look back. She stares at me for a long moment, then at Ryan, who's standing there with his suitcases like a man between homes, which is exactly what he is. You're right, she says to me. Then, to Ryan, don't contact me. I'll be speaking to HR on Monday about a transfer. She gets in her car and drives away, leaving Ryan standing on our lawn with his luggage, looking lost. The joggers have moved on, but Mrs. Patterson is still watching, and I can see phones and windows up and down the street. Now look what you've done, Ryan says, but the fight has gone out of him. Uber exists, I tell him. Or you can call your mother. Or maybe there's another woman you haven't told me about who can pick you up. I turn and walk back into the house, closing the door firmly behind me. Through the window, I watch Ryan struggle to get his phone out, trying to maintain dignity, while standing on the lawn with his suitcases like abandoned luggage. Within 10 minutes, a taxi arrives and he's gone. The silence that follows is profound. For the first time in 5 years, I'm alone in this house without waiting for Ryan to return. The relief is overwhelming. My phone rings, Jennifer. Hazel, what the hell just happened? Ryan just called me ranting about you causing a scene. And Melissa was involved? And you were pregnant. I sink onto the couch, suddenly exhausted again. I had a miscarriage yesterday, Jen. During Ryan's party. He didn't handle it well. The silence on the other end stretches, so long I check to make sure the call hasn't dropped. You had a miscarriage, she repeats slowly. Yesterday. During the party. And Ryan what?
Made you stay?
Made you host? He thanked me for ruining his birthday. He what? Her voice rises to a near shriek. That bastard. That absolute bastard. I'm coming over. You don't have to. I'm coming over, she repeats firmly. And I'm bringing Emma. She called me this morning, worried sick about you. Before I can protest, she's hung up. 20 minutes later, both women are at my door with coffee, pastries, and tissues. Tell us everything, Emma says, settling beside me on the couch while Jennifer takes the chair across from us. So I do. Every detail from the hospital to this morning's lawn showdown. By the time I'm finished, Jennifer is pacing the room in fury while Emma holds my hand, tears streaming down her face. I'm going to kill him, Jennifer announces. My own brother. I'm going to actually murder him. The neighborhood already witnessed enough drama for one day, I say, attempting levity. Fuck the neighborhood, Jennifer says, then covers her mouth.
Sorry.
I'm just, God, Hazel. I knew he could be self-absorbed. But this is sociopathic. The signs were there, I admit. I just didn't want to see them. Emma squeezes my hand. Don't blame yourself. Men like Ryan are experts at hiding their true nature until they think they have you trapped. Men like Ryan? I ask. Emma exchanges a look with Jennifer. Narcissists, she says simply. I recognize the patterns because my ex-husband was the same. The gaslighting, the affairs, the way everything is always your fault. It took me 3 years of therapy to understand it wasn't me. You were married before?
I am shocked.
Emma never mentioned an ex-husband in the 2 years we've been friends. For 7 years. He convinced me I was crazy, too sensitive, too demanding. Sound familiar? It wasn't until I caught him in bed with his personal trainer that I finally woke up. Jennifer sits back down, her anger shifting to concern. What do you need, Hazel? Lawyer? Therapist? Someone to slash Ryan's tires. I have a lawyer, I say, pulling out the card Samantha Roberts texted me. Meeting this afternoon. But I hesitate, then forge ahead. I need to know something, Jen. The others. Ryan admitted there were others. Did you know? Jennifer's face crumbles. I suspected. There was someone at his company Christmas party 2 years ago, an intern who seemed too familiar. And last year, when he went to that conference in Vegas, he called me drunk and mentioned something about a woman named Candace. But I had no proof, and you seemed happy, so You kept quiet to protect me. I finish. I thought I was protecting you. Now I realize I was just enabling him. She looks miserable. I'm so sorry, Hazel. It's not your fault. He's very good at manipulation. Even now, part of me wonders if I'm overreacting. You're not, both women say simultaneously. The miscarriage alone would be enough reason to leave, Emma adds. But combined with everything else? Hazel, you're not overreacting. You're finally reacting appropriately to years of abuse. Abuse. There's that word again. It still feels too big, too dramatic for my situation. My phone buzzes. Ryan. That stunt cost me Melissa. Happy now. I show it to the others. Jennifer grabs my phone and types back, "You cost yourself, Melissa. And everything else."
Yeah. What?
Someone needs to tell him. She hands my phone back. "Block him after the lawyer meeting. You don't need his poison in your head right now." Another text comes through, this one from Patricia Henderson. "Saw the morning entertainment. Good for you. Offer still stands if you need anything." Then another from Mark Chen's wife. "Just heard. Ryan's an ass. You deserve better." And another from a neighbor I barely know. "If you need someone to testify about what we witnessed, I have video." Video. Emma laughs, dark and delighted. "Your neighbors filmed it?" "Apparently. I can't decide if I'm mortified or grateful." "That's perfect," Jennifer says. "Documentation of his behavior, Melissa's involvement, all of it. Your lawyer will love this." The doorbell rings. We all freeze, wondering if Ryan has returned. But when I peer through the peephole, it's a delivery driver with an enormous bouquet of flowers. "I didn't order anything," I say, signing for them anyway. The card reads, "Thinking of you. You're stronger than you know. Patricia." "She sent you flowers?" Jennifer seems surprised. Patricia Henderson doesn't even send her own sister flowers. "She gave me her divorce attorney's card last night. At the party." Patricia Henderson is a divorce attorney, Emma says. "One of the best in the state. If she's taking an interest in your case." My phone rings. It's Samantha Roberts, the lawyer Patricia recommended. "Mrs. Wheeler? I've just gotten off the phone with Patricia Henderson. She's filled me in on some of the details. Can we move our meeting to this morning? I think we need to act quickly, especially given what Patricia tells me happened on your lawn this morning." "You know about that already?" Mrs. Henderson has many connections. "She also mentioned there might be video evidence, and that your husband has been having an inappropriate relationship with a subordinate." I look at Emma and Jennifer, who are both nodding vigorously. "Yes to all of that." "Excellent. Can you come to my office in an hour? Bring any documentation you have, texts, emails, financial records, anything that might be relevant." "I'll be there." After I hang up, Jennifer stands. "We're coming with you." "You don't have to." "Yes, we do," Emma interrupts. "You need support, and we need to make sure Ryan doesn't try to ambush you." "He wouldn't." I start, then stop. Yesterday, I would have said he wouldn't thank me for ruining his birthday with a miscarriage, but here we are. I spend the next hour gathering documents while Jennifer and Emma help. Bank statements showing the suspicious charges. Screenshots of texts where Ryan cancels plans last minute for work emergencies. The recording from last night, which Jennifer insists on listening to despite my protests. Her face goes white as she hears her brother's voice dismissing our child as barely a fetus, telling me I'm being hysterical, threatening my reputation. "This isn't the brother I know," she whispers. "Maybe it is," I say gently. "Maybe we just didn't want to see it." My phone buzzes with another text from Ryan. "The credit cards aren't working." I smile grimly. I'd called the credit card companies an hour ago, removing him as an authorized user on my accounts. He still has his own cards, but the ones I pay for? Those are done. "Getting smarter already," Emma approves. "Now let's go meet your lawyer and bury him." 3 weeks have passed since Ryan's birthday party, since my miscarriage, since my world imploded and rebuilt itself in the span of 24 hours. Tonight, I'm standing in front of my bedroom mirror, applying lipstick with steady hands, the same coral shade Ryan used to love, but I'm wearing it for myself now. The company dinner invitation had come through Jennifer, who'd insisted I attend despite everything. "You're still on the Henderson Industries charity board," she'd argued. "This dinner is about the Children's Hospital fundraiser. Don't let Ryan take this from you too." She was right. I'd worked for months organizing this fundraiser, long before I knew about Melissa, before the pregnancy, before everything fell apart. I wasn't going to hide at home while Ryan played the victim at his company's biggest social event of the year. Emma stands behind me, fixing a strand of my hair. "You look incredible," she says, and for the first time in weeks, I actually feel it. The black dress fits perfectly. I'd lost weight from the stress, but I'd been working out too, channeling my anger into kickboxing classes that left me exhausted but stronger. He'll be there, I say, meeting her eyes in the mirror. So will Melissa, Jennifer adds from where she's sitting on my bed. HR couldn't transfer her immediately. Some bullshit about waiting for the quarterly review period. Let them both be there, I say, surprised by my own calm. I have nothing to be ashamed of. My phone buzzes with a text from Samantha Roberts. Remember, don't engage if he approaches. Let him make the mistakes. The divorce papers will be served Monday. Ryan doesn't know about the Monday serving. He's been staying at an extended stay hotel, telling everyone who will listen that we're taking some time apart to work on things. Meanwhile, Samantha has been building our case with meticulous precision. The recording from his birthday. The video from Mrs. Patterson. The credit card statements showing purchases for Melissa, and as it turns out, for a woman named Candace in Vegas and someone named Brittany whose name appeared on charges in Miami. Ready? Emma asks. I take one last look in the mirror. The woman staring back at me is different from the one who stood in a hospital bathroom 3 weeks ago, gripping the sink while her world shattered. This woman has steel in her spine and fire in her eyes. Ready. The Morrison Hotel ballroom is packed when we arrive. 200 of the city's business elite, all here for networking disguised as charity. I spot Ryan immediately. He's by the bar with David Chen and some other executives, laughing too loudly at someone's joke. He looks good, I admit grudgingly. New suit, fresh haircut, the picture of a successful man without a care in the world. Then I see Melissa across the room, pointedly avoiding looking in his direction, surrounded by a cluster of women from accounting. The tension between them is obvious to anyone paying attention. Hazel. Patricia Henderson's voice cuts through the crowd. She glides toward me in a stunning navy dress, her husband Richard trailing behind. You came. Good. She air kisses my cheek, then lowers her voice. Samantha tells me Monday is the day. Yes. Excellent timing. After tonight, he won't be able to claim ignorance about anything. There's something in her smile that makes me nervous and excited in equal measure. What do you mean? Oh, didn't I mention? I'm giving a speech tonight about the importance of supporting women's health initiatives, particularly pregnancy and infant loss support. Her eyes glitter with something that might be malice. I thought it was appropriate, given recent events. Before I can respond, she's swept away into the crowd. Jennifer grabs my arm. Did she just say what I think she said? I think Patricia Henderson is about to destroy my husband at his own company event. Ex-husband, Emma corrects. And good. We find our table, strategically placed, I notice, with perfect views of both the podium and Ryan's table. He hasn't seen me yet, too busy performing confidence for his colleagues. But others have noticed. Whispers follow my path through the ballroom, eyes tracking my movement with curiosity and speculation. Hazel. David Chen appears at my elbow, looking uncomfortable. I wasn't sure you'd be here. Why wouldn't I be? I'm organizing the silent auction. Of course. I just thought, with everything. He trails off, clearly unsure how to reference the spectacular implosion of my marriage that everyone's been gossiping about for weeks. I'm fine, David. Better than fine, actually. He studies my face, then nods slowly. You know, my wife said something interesting after Ryan's party. She said she'd never seen a woman look so strong while standing so alone. I wasn't alone, I say, glancing at Jennifer and Emma. I just didn't know it yet. He follows my gaze, understanding dawning. Well, for what it's worth, the board has been discussing Ryan's judgment lately. That scene with Ms. Barnes at his party, then the incident on your lawn. It doesn't reflect well on the company. Ms. Barnes. Melissa. So the professional distance has already begun. I wouldn't know anything about company business, I say diplomatically. David smiles tightly. Of course not. Enjoy your evening, Hazel. As he walks away, Jennifer whistles low. Ryan's in trouble at work. Good, I say, then freeze as I finally make eye contact with him across the room. For a moment, we just stare at each other. His expression cycles through surprise, anger, and something that might be regret before settling on cold indifference. He raises his glass slightly, a mocking toast, then turns his back. Asshole, Emma mutters. Let him be, I say. He's about to have bigger problems. Dinner is served, some rubber chicken that everyone pretends is delicious, and I manage to eat despite my churning stomach. I'm at a table with several board members' wives, women who've known me for years, but are clearly unsure how to treat me now. Am I still Mrs. Wheeler? Am I a scorned woman to pity? Am I contagious, my marital failure something that might infect their own relationships? Hazel, Margaret Chin finally says, David's wife. I heard about your loss. The baby. I'm so sorry. The table goes quiet. It's the first time anyone's directly acknowledged the miscarriage in public. Thank you, I say simply. It's been difficult. My sister had 3 miscarriages before her successful pregnancy, offers Linda Morrison. The lack of support for women going through that kind of loss is appalling. Which is why tonight's fundraiser is so important, I say, finding my footing. The Women's Health Wing at Children's Memorial will provide comprehensive care, including pregnancy loss support and counseling. The women nod approvingly, and conversation flows more naturally after that. I catch glimpses of Ryan throughout dinner, his laugh getting louder as he drinks more, his gestures becoming more expansive. He's nervous, I realize. He knows I'm here, knows people are watching, and he's overcompensating. Then Patricia takes the podium, and the room falls silent. Good evening, she begins, her voice carrying effortlessly through the ballroom. I'm here tonight to talk about an issue that affects more women than we acknowledge, pregnancy loss and the devastating impact of partners who fail to support them through it. I hear someone gasp. Jennifer grabs my hand under the table. Patricia continues, her tone professional but pointed. 1 in 4 pregnancies ends in miscarriage. Yet we don't talk about it. We hide our grief, minimize our loss, often because those closest to us, those who should support us most, tell us we're being dramatic. That it's just tissue. That we're ruining their special moments with our pain. She's not looking at Ryan, but everyone else is. His face has gone pale, his knuckles white around his whiskey glass. I recently witnessed a woman, a strong, dedicated woman who has raised thousands for this very hospital, be dismissed and belittled by her partner hours after losing their child. She was told she was ruining his birthday. Can you imagine? A birthday party mattering more than the death of a child. The murmur that ripples through the crowd is decidedly hostile toward Ryan. David Chin actually moves his chair away from him. This woman stood in a room full of people, bleeding both physically and emotionally, and was expected to serve appetizers and smile. And when she couldn't maintain that facade, she was called hysterical, dramatic, an embarrassment. Patricia's eyes find mine across the room, and she gives me the slightest nod. But here's what I want you to know, she continues, her voice rising with passion. That woman is here tonight. She's still standing. She's still fighting for other women who've experienced this loss. And she's showing us all what real strength looks like, not the blustering performance of a weak man trying to control everyone around him, but the quiet dignity of a woman who refuses to be diminished. The applause starts slowly, then builds to thunder. People are standing, turning to look at me with expressions of support and admiration. I stay seated, overwhelmed, tears threatening but not falling. Ryan storms out of the ballroom, his chair toppling backward in his haste. Melissa leaves moments later, through a different door. Their absence is noted by everyone. Patricia concludes her speech with a call for donations, and within minutes, pledge cards are being filled out at every table. The fundraiser will exceed its goal by triple, Jennifer tells me later, all because Patricia Henderson decided to weaponize her influence for good. As the formal program ends and people begin to mingle, I'm surrounded by women, and some men, offering support, sharing their own stories of loss, expressing outrage at Ryan's behavior. It's overwhelming and cathartic and exhausting all at once. I need air, I tell Emma, and she helps me navigate to the balcony. The night is cool, autumn finally arriving after an extended summer. I lean against the railing, breathing deeply, trying to process what just happened. That was quite a speech. I turn to find Melissa standing in the doorway, looking as exhausted as I feel. We regard each other warily. I didn't know, she says finally, about the baby, the miscarriage, any of it. I know that doesn't excuse what I did, but I need you to know that. Would it have mattered? I ask, genuinely curious. If you'd known.
She considers this.
I want to say yes. But honestly, he was so charming, so convincing. He made me feel like I was special, like what we had was worth any collateral damage. And now I see him for what he is. A narcissist who can't stand not being the center of attention. Even his own child's death was an inconvenience to him. She shakes her head. I'm resigning Monday. Already have another job lined up. Good for you. She starts to leave, then turns back. For what it's worth, you're better off without him. We both are. After she goes, I stay on the balcony, letting the cool air calm my heated skin. 3 weeks ago, I thought my life was over. Now I'm standing here, having just been publicly vindicated, watching my ex-husband's carefully constructed world crumble. By the time I return to the ballroom, Ryan has come back, drunk and belligerent. He's at the bar, Davidson trying to calm him down while other executives keep their distance. His voice carries across the room. Complete bullshit. She's turned everyone against me. My own sister. Jennifer appears at my side. Security is on standby. David asks them to wait, hoping Ryan will leave voluntarily. He won't, I predict. He's too drunk and too angry to be smart about this. Sure enough, Ryan spots me and starts pushing through the crowd. David tries to stop him, but Ryan shoves him aside. You, he snarls, pointing at me with an unsteady hand. You did this. You and Patricia fucking Henderson. You've ruined everything. The room goes silent. Everyone is watching, some with phones, discreetly recording. This is it, the final implosion of Ryan Wheeler. I didn't ruin anything. I say calmly. You did that yourself. Bullshit. You've been planning this, haven't you? The whole victim act, the tears, making me look like the bad guy. You thanked me for ruining your birthday with my miscarriage, I say, my voice carrying clearly through the silent ballroom. Those were your words, not mine. You're twisting it. You always twist things. I have the recording, Ryan. Your exact words. Would you like me to play it for everyone? His face contorts with rage. You manipulative bitch. That's enough. David Chen steps between us, his face stern. Ryan, you need to leave.
Now.
You can't kick me out. I'm a senior partner. Were, David corrects. The board met this afternoon. Your behavior, both personal and professional, has become a liability. Your resignation will be announced Monday. The blood drains from Ryan's face. You can't do this. I'll sue. With what grounds? We have documented evidence of inappropriate relationships with subordinates, misuse of company funds for personal entertainment, and now public intoxication and harassment at a company event. David's voice is cold. Leave now. With what dignity you have left, or security will escort you out. Ryan looks around wildly, seeking support, but finds only condemning faces. His world, so carefully built on charm and manipulation, has crumbled in minutes. This is your fault, he says to me, his voice breaking. You destroyed us. No, I say, finding strength in the truth. You destroyed us the moment you decided your birthday mattered more than our dead child. You destroyed us with every lie, every affair, every time you made me feel small, so you could feel big. I just stopped protecting you from the consequences. Security appears, 2 discreet men in suits who flank Ryan without touching him.
Yet.
Sir, one says quietly. Time to go. Ryan looks at me one last time, and I see him clearly. Not the successful businessman, not the charming husband, but a small, selfish man who never learned that other people's pain matters. He leaves without another word, the security guards following at a respectful distance. The ballroom remains silent for a moment after his exit, then conversation resumes with a vengeance. This will be the talk of the business community for months. Are you okay? Jennifer asks, her arm around my shoulders. I'm better than okay. I realize, and it's true. I'm free. The rest of the evening passes in a blur. People approach me with words of support, business cards for their lawyers, therapists, investment advisors. The sisterhood of scorned women, it turns out, is vast and well-connected. Patricia finds me as the evening winds down. Monday morning, 9 a.m., he'll be served at his hotel. Samantha has everything ready. Thank you, I say, meaning it deeply. For everything. Women need to support each other, she says simply. Especially against men like Ryan. It's nearly midnight when Emma, Jennifer, and I finally leave. We're in the parking lot when my phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. This is Candace. From Vegas.
I heard what happened tonight.
If you need testimony about Ryan's behavior, I have texts and photos. He told me you were separated. Then another. This is Brittany. I met Ryan in Miami. Just found out he was married. I'm so sorry. If you need anything for your divorce, I have evidence too. The sisterhood expands, Emma observes, reading over my shoulder. We drive back to my house, not ours anymore, and open a bottle of wine. It's past midnight now, officially Sunday. In 33 hours, Ryan will be served with divorce papers. He's lost his job, his reputation, his mistress, and soon he'll lose half of everything else. How do you feel? Jennifer asks, studying my face. I consider the question. 3 weeks ago, at another midnight moment, I was shattered. My baby was gone. My marriage was over. My entire life had imploded. But sitting here now, surrounded by true friends, having faced my destroyer and won, I feel something I haven't felt in years. Powerful, I say. I feel powerful. My phone buzzes one more time. Ryan, please.
Can we talk? I'm sorry.
I was wrong. Please. I show it to the others. Don't respond, Jennifer says immediately. He's just realized he's lost everything. I wasn't going to, I assure her. Instead, I do something I should have done 3 weeks ago. I block his number. The house feels different now, lighter somehow. The ghost of Ryan's presence is fading, replaced by something new. My books have reclaimed the shelves he'd relegated them to the garage. My art, which he'd called too emotional, now hangs where his sports memorabilia used to be. The ultrasound photo sits in a small frame on the mantel, not hidden, not ashamed, but honored. I want to do something, I announce suddenly. For the baby. Emma and Jennifer exchange glances. What kind of something? A memorial. Nothing big, just something to mark that they existed, that they mattered. The hospital memorial garden, Jennifer suggests softly. They have a section for pregnancy loss. You could plant something. Tomorrow? I ask, though it's technically already tomorrow. Tomorrow, they agree. We stay up talking until 3 a.m., about the future, about healing, about the strange liberation that comes from losing everything you thought you needed. Jennifer tells me about Ryan as a child, always needing to be the center of attention, always making everything about him. Emma shares more about her own divorce, the therapy that saved her, the life she built from ruins. When they finally leave, I stand in my bedroom, the room where my child was conceived, where my marriage truly ended, where I've been sleeping alone for 3 weeks but somehow don't feel lonely. I open the drawer where I'd hidden the pregnancy journal and pull it out. The entries stop at week 11, still full of hope and dreams. I turn to a blank page and begin writing. My dear one, you existed for 12 weeks. 12 weeks where my body held you, nurtured you, loved you completely. Your father couldn't see your value, but I did. I do. You changed me in those 12 weeks. You gave me the strength to see the truth, to demand better, to know my own worth. You saved me, my little one. In your brief existence, you saved me from a life of slow destruction. I will carry you with me always, not as a burden of grief, but as a reminder of my strength. You were wanted. You were loved. You mattered. I close the journal and place it back in the drawer, but not hidden this time. Today, I'll plant something beautiful in the memorial garden. Jennifer and Emma will be there. Maybe Patricia will come, and Margaretchen, and the other women who've surrounded me with unexpected support. But tonight, in these last quiet hours before dawn, I sit with my grief and my power, my loss and my liberation. The clock reads 3:33 a.m. again, that magical time of transformation. But I don't need magic anymore. I have something better: truth, courage, and the absolute certainty that I deserve more than crumbs of affection from a man incapable of real love. Monday will bring divorce papers and legal battles. There will be mediation and division of assets and all the ugly necessity of untangling two lives. Ryan will likely fight dirty, try to paint me as unstable, claim I orchestrated his downfall. But I have recordings and witnesses and video evidence. I have Patricia Henderson's influence and Samantha Roberts' expertise. I have Jennifer's fierce loyalty and Emma's steady support. I have Candace and Brittany and Melissa willing to testify to his patterns of deception. Most importantly, I have myself, no longer the woman who believed she needed to make herself small to be loved, but someone harder and softer both. Someone who can stand in a ballroom and speak her truth while her world burns around her. Someone who can carry grief and joy simultaneously, who can honor a lost child while celebrating freedom from their father. The sun is beginning to rise, painting the sky in shades of pink and gold. I make coffee. The machine works perfectly when you actually clean it and step onto the back porch. The autumn air is crisp, carrying the scent of changing leaves and new beginnings. My phone, finally silent after days of constant buzzing, sits on the counter inside. Later there will be messages to answer, lawyers to meet, a memorial to plan, a new life to build. But right now, in this perfect moment between night and day, I exist in the space between what was and what will be. I think of Ryan, alone in his hotel room, facing the ruins of his carefully constructed life. I wait for satisfaction or vindication to wash over me, but instead I feel only pity. He'll never understand what he lost, not just me or our child, but the opportunity to be more than his appetites and ego. He'll find another woman to charm and diminish, another audience for his stories, another reflection to mistake for love. But he'll never know the profound connection that comes from true vulnerability, from putting someone else's needs before your own, from loving something more than yourself. That's his tragedy, not mine. Mine is simpler. A baby who didn't make it, a marriage that couldn't survive truth, a woman who had to lose everything to find herself. But tragedies can transform into triumphs if you let them, and standing here in the morning light, coffee warm in my hands, friends on their way, and freedom spreading before me like an open road, I choose transformation. The clock inside chimes 6 a.m. In 3 hours, Ryan will be served. The legal end of our marriage will begin. But the real end happened 3 weeks ago at midnight, when he thanked me for ruining his birthday with my miscarriage. No, that's not right either. The real end happened in a hospital room, staring at a still ultrasound screen, when I realized I'd have to face this loss alone. Or maybe there was no single moment, just 1,000 small betrayals that accumulated like stones until they built a wall between us. It doesn't matter now. What matters is this: I survived. I'm standing. I'm free. And somewhere, in whatever space exists for those who are loved but never born, my baby knows that their brief existence mattered. They were the catalyst for my liberation, the price of my freedom, the gift wrapped in loss. Thank you, I whisper to the sunrise, to my lost child, to the universe that sometimes breaks us open so light can get in. Then I go inside to prepare for the rest of my life, leaving Ryan's ghost behind in the shadows where it belongs. If your partner dismissed your deepest pain as an inconvenience to their celebration, would you have the strength to choose yourself over the marriage? Like this video if Hazel's story resonated with you, and subscribe for more raw, real stories about women who refuse to stay silent.